someday. That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. I haven't eaten a bite or slept for 3 days and nights. That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. I've got to find her, tell her that I love her so. I'll never rest till I find out she had to go. Thank you for your precious time. Forgive me if I start to cry. That's how I got to Memphis. 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 I got to Memphis. That's how 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 I got to Memphis. Wherever they go, I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis.
The sight the wandering eye has opened, a stare although we've been broken, the start of a brand new adventure. Hey now, catch me quick before I walk away. Pack yourself a toothbrush, dear. Pack yourself a favorite blouse. Take a withdrawal slip. Take all of your savings out. 'Cause if we don't leave this town, we might never make it out. I was not born to drown. Baby, come on. Forget what Father Brennan said. We were not born in sin. Leave a note on your bed. Let your mother know it's safe. And by the time she wakes, we'll have driven through the state. We'll have driven through the night. Baby, come on. If the sun don't shine on me today, and if the subway's flood and bridges break, will you lay yourself down and dig your grave, or will you run against the dying day? And when we looked outside, couldn't even see the sky. How do you pay the rent? Is it your parents? Or is it hard work holding the atmosphere? I don't wanna live like this. If the sun don't shine on me today, if the subways flood and the bridges break, Jesus Christ can save me tonight. Let's wear something nice. Decide on me, yeah, decide on us. Oh, yeah, Lord. Pack yourself a toothbrush, dear. Pack yourself a favorite blouse. Take a withdrawal slip. Take all of your savings out. 'Cause if we don't leave this town, we might never make it out.
you feel afraid, I will keep your faith like you do. Ooh. Won't you lead the way through my darkness? Keep them softly sparkling, keep them softly sparkling. Show me the way to a brighter place. Keep my eyes from closing, keep my eyes from closing. Lifted away from my demons. Lifted away from my secrets.
Cassidy, there's reggae music playing on the beach. New moon tonight, and there isn't a cloud in the sky. Grab your Swiss Army knife and the blanket and meet me outside. Yeah, come on, Cassidy. I lean on. But I know I love you, and you make it so hard to leave. But I'll keep loving you till I'm only a memory. We spend our whole lives moving on, reaching out for loving arms. The night is young, come out with me. Cassidy, with the ocean in your hair, come out with me. Cassidy, I'll be tangled up tonight, but tomorrow I'll be up in the air. Come on, county line, crazy waves down from Caroline. All the smoke hung in the air while the sun was setting. You said it looked just like an oil spill in heaven. Don't say fairly well. You got that anxious feeling, I can tell. You're getting antsy. Let's go up to Neptune's net and have a drink, and plan a trip somewhere to a beach on a magazine. Spend my whole life moving on, reaching out for loving arms. The night is young, come out with me. Cassidy, with the ocean in your hair, come out with me. Cassidy, I'll be tangled up tonight, but tomorrow I'll be up there. Cassidy, I love the feeling of sand on my feet and salt on my skin. You say you never wear clothes again if you didn't have to. You know I can't really be that free, but I sure would like to. Show me, show me, show me love. No one else can make me open up the way you do. I was living in my own little prison. I used to decorate the walls that kept me in. We spend our whole lives moving on, reaching out for loving arms. The night is young, come out with me. Cassidy, with the ocean in your hair, come out with me. Cassidy, with the ocean in your hair, come out with me. Cassidy,
It's a certain time of day, I'm feeling like a fool. I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. Ooh, it makes you nervous. Ooh. So I'm standing on the edge, and all I want is you. Lines that never cross, descending into blue. Ooh, it makes you nervous. Ooh, every once in a while. We scratch the surface. Honey, all I really want is to run away from everyone, everything. Lying lost next to you. Right beside you on the forest floor. For a while, it's alright. Let it waste the I met your bed. Whatever be your will, I'll wear my finest coat. I'll meet you in the still. Ooh, makes you nervous. Ooh, once in a while. Ooh, service. Ooh. I grew up in a sheltered home, residing in a fragile dome, made of bulletproof glass and last-second glances back, not alone. At heart he was a punk rocker, Napoleon the Conqueror. For to live ingloriously is to die each day. A dark and profound thing to say. Can anybody hear me now? Like a tree growing on infernal ground, I'll stay on top, but I can't make a sound. Look up at the ceiling stars. We'll try and find out what is ours. To try and put a name on everything we say is almost blasphemy. Can't you just let it be? Mumbles of subconscious doubts. They turn to marbles rolling in my mouth. And now whenever I try to speak, you never hear me out. Isn't that what life's about? Can anybody hear me now? Like a tree growing on infernal ground, I stay on top, but I can't make a sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the campus of Arkansas State University. Thank you for joining us for the rededication of Wilson Hall. Please direct your attention to the video screens for an introduction to today's festivities. Our vision and determination to serve the Delta will impact generations of families who need access to quality health care. Two institutions have united to create NYIT College of Osteopathic Medicine at Arkansas State and transform communities throughout the Mid-South.
More than a century ago, Arkansas State University was founded on the cornerstone principle of using higher education to improve the social and economic conditions of the Delta region. Elevating the quality of life of the families and the communities we serve while providing students with meaningful professional careers is simply a fundamental part of the A-State DNA. Now with our well-known, highly regarded, and deeply experienced partner, the New York Institute of Technology, we are fulfilling that mission in the critical arena of medical education and access to health care.
In early 2014, with support from the Delta Regional Authority, nationally respected Trip Umbach conducted a feasibility study. An osteopathic medical school would significantly and positively impact the Northeast Arkansas economy.
Beyond the $80 million a year for the economy and about 400 jobs, it's also going to provide a lot more physicians for the region. It's going to help with quality of life.
Arkansas State proceeded to search for a distinguished DO school that would join us in our mission, and NYIT emerged as a premier partner institution. A-State and NYIT representatives canvassed the state to share the vision and solicit support from hospitals, physicians, and medical organizations that would be critical for success. A graduate medical education summit brought together these constituencies and highlighted the opportunities and needs for physician training.
I'd like to thank the entire community for their support throughout the process, as well as the leadership from St. Bernard's and NEA Baptist. We had a great team in place, including Chancellor Tim Hudson, Jeff Hankins, Mindy Hendricks, Dr. Shane Spites, Chris Barber, Brad Parsons, and Mark Young. We had our challenges, but our team stayed focused on the mission.
Not only are we approved by the Commission on Osteopathic College Accreditation to move forward and increase NYIT-COM's students and educate them in Arkansas, we are also tasked with something much bigger. I think there's an opportunity for us to do things differently, for us to do things better, to do things that meet the needs of a dramatically underserved population here in America's Delta, but to also find new ways to innovate the
45 NYIT faculty and staff members are preparing to welcome the class of 2020, with 45 Arkansans among the first-year students. The $12 million state-of-the-art renovation of historic Wilson Hall features 86,000 square feet of high-tech lecture rooms, simulation rooms, lab space, and offices.
Together with Arkansas State, we are committed to the development of human capital and medical care to address regional health needs.
Wilson Hall assumes a new place in history this fall as home to NYIT College of Osteopathic Medicine at A-State. From these hallowed walls will come physicians prepared to transform healthcare and lives throughout the Delta. And now, please welcome to the stage our Master of Ceremonies, ASU System Vice President Jeff Hankins.
Everyone, welcome to Arkansas State University, and thank you for joining us to rededicate historic Wilson Hall as the home of Arkansas's newest medical school. A few critics who questioned our efforts leading to this day described Wilson Hall as an abandoned, asbestos-filled building. Now that's what Coach Jason Penry might describe as bulletin board material, and it took our passion for this project to an even higher level. Today, we will introduce you to an 86,000 square foot state-of-the-art architectural jewel in the heart of this campus. Our beloved Wilson Hall is now the home of an amazing partner, New York Institute of Technology, College of Osteopathic Medicine. Our speakers today will share brief comments about this historic public-private partnership from their various perspectives. After the program, we'll have a brief ribbon-cutting ceremony out in front of Wilson Hall, and then open the building to all of you and to the community for self-guided tours. It's now my pleasure to welcome A-State's point man, head coach, and even cheerleader captain for this endeavor, Dr. Jason Penry.
Thank you all so much for being here today and join us for this special occasion. This is a wonderful day because it marks another major milestone in this process. As Jeff said, there were some ups and a few downs, but the past 3.5 years have been a lot of fun. And when I think about the process over the last 3.5 years, really 2 words come to mind. The first one is community. I think we've all played a role, everyone in this room played a role in making this med school a reality. And I think we should all be proud of that because this is the first school to open in the state for over a century. That's a big deal. But the second word that I think of over the last 3.5 years is teamwork. Again, community and teamwork. And we had an excellent team inside the team for the past 3.5 years, from the idea stage in early 2013 to present day. And that was our steering committee. And I mentioned some of them on the video, but I'm gonna recognize them all and have them stand up, and if we can recognize them again. But it's Dr. Tim Hudson, the Chancellor of A State. Thank you. Chris Barber, the CEO of St. Bernard's Healthcare. Brad Parsons, the CEO of NEA Baptist Health System. Dr. Shane Spites, now the Associate Dean of NYITCOM at A-State. Harold Perrin, Mayor of Jonesboro. And also Mark Young, the CEO of the Jonesboro Regional Chamber of Commerce. So I could tell you, they were always available, early morning breakfast, evenings, weekends, they were always there. And they, again, we were able to take it from idea stage to reality in large part because of their leadership. Now I'd like to introduce to you someone that's provided exceptional leadership throughout this process, and someone that I look up to, and especially when times were rough, he was always there to help us move it forward. Chancellor Tim Hudson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Jason. You can tell I'm a little bit under the weather, but I figured I could find a doctor here today, maybe to help me. Wow, what a day and what a journey. So I want to welcome everybody to the A-State campus. It's always a pleasure to have out-of-town visitors on our campus. We're very proud of this campus, and I hope you have time to walk around and get a little glimpse of the quality of life that this living learning community provides for all of us that are lucky enough to work here. So welcome, and we have many special guests with us today, and you'll hear from some of them a little bit later, including our governor, Governor Hutchinson. We appreciate you being here today, and Congressman Crawford, appreciate you being here today. There's also, I should say, last night at our residence, we hosted a reception for our out-of-town guests and a few others, and I was making comments, and I was going to say we've had a lot of events in this house, and we've had thousands of people come through here, but I'm sure tonight we've never had more, and President Giuliano said, New Yorkers. But what I was going to say, we've never had more damn Yankees in this house. Well, he was more polite. But I want to recognize my wife, Dee Dee, who helped last night and helps me always, so Dee Dee has some money. There's a Spanish proverb that says, poco a poco se anda lejos. Little by little, you can go a long way. That's the literal translation. But a better translation is, even the most difficult journey is comprised of steps. And today is another step in this journey to bring medical education to one of the most underserved areas in the United States. And yes, we're going to rededicate Wilson Hall to a new purpose, but in some ways to a purpose that aligns with the roots and the origins of Arkansas State. When you think about it, Arkansas State was invented to use observation and science and analytical reasoning to help our farmers be better farmers, to educate teachers for our school systems, and leaders for our community. So, yes, it's a new purpose, but in some ways it fits this idea of using the power of observation and evidence-based decision-making to better our community, to improve what some people said in 1921 in one of the documents I read about the history of Arkansas State University, to improve the lot and the lives of the citizens around us. So using higher education to improve quality of life, as I said in the video, is a part of our DNA. And there are so many people to thank for this, and you'll hear various folks thank different groups, and I appreciate Jason's comments earlier. We're going to rededicate Wilson Hall, and if you haven't seen it, it is absolutely spectacular, absolutely spectacular. And there are many people that played a hand in that renovation, and I want to recognize some of them here. If representatives of these groups would please stand when I call you out, and then at the end we'll give you a round of applause. The absolutely A-grade A-State Facilities Management Group, AMR Architects, I think Frank Barksdale and some of his team. Please stand if I call your David, stand up, don't be shy. Rusty, good job. Frank, appreciate you. Clark Contractors, I think Danny Bennett and maybe some of his team is here, appreciate your work. I know it was a big challenge, but kind of fun too, wasn't it? Design Group, and I think some of those folks are here, Elliot Bonnie and some of their team. Thank you. And Pettit Construction. Don Huggins is here, I think. Don, thank you. It's truly remarkable, and I believe R.E. Lee Wilson, he'd be proud. He'd be proud. I talked to his great-grandson, Perry Wilson, about this about 3.5 years ago because I wanted to clear it with him. What do you think about this? Putting a medical school in Wilson Hall. He said, it's awesome. So we did. I want to thank the Board of Trustees for their leadership. This could have been a non-starter like almost every project we do. If it doesn't have the backing of the board, it really can't happen. So their leadership is absolutely essential to everything we do, and I appreciate what they do. Jason, I won't say much more about Jason Penry, except that when we started doing preliminary research on this project, I realized that such a linchpin program, such a linchpin opportunity needed a champion. Needed a champion. So I went to Jason and I said, I need your help. I need your help. He didn't say it's not my job description. He said, we can get it done. Jason, thanks. A lot of small planes, a lot of visits to cadaver labs. I only visited 2. That was it for me. He carried on. A lot of bumpy plane rides, a lot of bumpy roads, a lot of contentious meetings, a lot of explaining over and over and over again. How are you going to do this when the state can't afford the medical school it has? He sat through it all, learned all the acronyms in the business, sat through all the different meetings. So Jason, you persevered. You know, when he was a baseball player, he was a closer, right? Just a pitcher. He's a closer. Left-handed closer, valuable guy. He's a good closer. Jason mentioned the community support. It's just absolutely awesome to see all of you here today. We couldn't have done it without the healthcare enterprise that is in this region, in this community and in this region. I'd like for everybody, Chris was mentioned earlier, Brad was mentioned earlier, I'd like everybody that's involved with the healthcare industry in our state and in this region to stand up and let us thank you. We appreciate everything you do. We know we're a little bit stubborn and we're a little bit persistent and we ask you for a lot, but it's for the greater good. So we really appreciate our community. Now, Governor, as you know, from the entrepreneurial approach we take on many of our projects, we decided early on that we had to find a way to do this without asking for additional appropriated dollars. We know you got a lot of pressure on you. We didn't want to be that pressure. We wanted to be part of the solution. So we engaged an external consulting group that were mentioned in the video named Tripp Umbach to provide us a feasibility study. And that feasibility study reinforced the need and also outlined potential pathways, including to find a partner, an existing school, an existing college of osteopathic medicine. So I think we have a representative from Denise Vandergel is here. Denise, stand up, from Tripp Umbach. Vandersall. Paul Umbach, the principal of Tripp Umbach, couldn't be here today, but that step was a very important step in this journey, so we appreciate them. But finally, and today I have to say, most importantly, on behalf of our community, the 80,000 living alumni of Arkansas State University, the 13,500 students on our campus, and the 2,000 faculty and staff that work, live, and thrive here at Arkansas State, I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our colleagues and partners from the New York Institute of Technology. Please stand if you're associated with the New York Institute of Technology. We are thrilled that this journey culminated in such a strong partnership with such an outstanding institution, one of the premier institutions providing osteopathic medical education in this country. Now, and to welcome them further, I would like to ask my colleagues to give them a good Red Wolf howl. Okay, get ready. Now, Dee Dee does this better than I do, but I'm going to try. On three, we're going to give our colleagues from NYIT the Red Wolf howl, okay? Come on, Jason, get ready. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Welcome. Some might say that an A-State NYIT partnership is unlikely and an unlikely union. But in some ways, those unlikely unions can be the strongest because they're based on principles. And through this process, we know we have learned to believe together that we have a single purpose, which is to serve the people in our area, to provide access to higher education, to provide access to medical education, and enhance the quality of life of the people we serve. So, President Giuliano, you have a very strong team. We are proud of the partnership. And now I want to quote one of my favorite doctors, Dr. Seuss. I have a lot of children, so I know a lot about Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss said, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. Thank all of you for caring a whole awful lot. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce a terrific leader who allows us the liberty of dreaming big dreams, Dr. Chuck Welch, president of the ASU system.
Thank you, Chancellor. I appreciate that. When I was thinking about how I wanted to describe today, the first word I was going to use was historic, but then that just did not seem to be strong enough for what today is. Really, I think this day needs to be thought of as transformative in so many different ways. Certainly the physical, when you look at the way that we have transformed Wilson Hall, building that's been on this campus 84 years, that essentially any student who's ever attended this university has walked through those halls. And for it to now have this incredible osteopathic medical school inside its walls is something I think we should all be celebrating. You know, the rumor got out several years ago that the Chancellor and I were going to tear down Wilson Hall. And one of my trustees said, son, if that's true, you ain't real smart. And I said, I can assure you that we have no plans whatsoever to tear down that building. We're just trying to figure out exactly what is the right fit for that building. And the beauty of it is that not only have we been able to turn it into this marvelous facility that it is today, not only is it going to house the first osteopathic medical school in the state of Arkansas, but because of that partnership with NYIT, it will be paid for by private funds and not by funds from our students or the state of Arkansas. And that is something I think we should also be very proud of. But you know, we're not just transforming a building today, we're indeed transforming an entire region. This Board of Trustees and I take very seriously the role that we have in serving the Delta. This is my home. This is where my family is from. Jonesboro was the big city. Most of my family lived in much smaller communities and did not have access to quality health care. And because of what we are doing here today, those who come after me in the Delta and in this region will have those opportunities. And we're transforming lives today, individual lives, healthy lives. Individuals who won't have to, I talk a lot about first-generation college students. You may have some first-generation doctor's visits, Dr. Hall. I mean, there may be some who've never had that opportunity, and now they will. And hopefully they will have doctors that have also grown up right here around them and feel as strongly as we do about serving this region. I remember the very first conversation we had about this. Dr. Spites and a group of us were sitting over in the Ellis House talking about the potential of a DO school. Chris Barber, I think you were there, and I remember leaving thinking that would be unbelievable. I'm just not sure how realistic it is. Well, fortunately, those other people in that room were not going to be backed down by any sights of challenges they had in front of them, and we got it done. But we didn't get it done alone. My friend Chris Massengill sitting here, the federal co-chair of the Delta Regional Authority, they aided us in the Trip Umbach study. Congressman Crawford has been supportive from the beginning. Two governors now, Governor Beebe and Governor Hutchinson, both have been very supportive. But if you want to know how important this is to this region, if you want to know how transformative this is, consider this. We went to the accreditation meeting in Chicago. It was in a hotel conference room at O'Hare Airport. And sitting in that room with the representatives from A-State and the representatives from NYIT were the federal co-chair of the Delta Regional Authority and our congressman. They were blown away that those two individuals would go to Chicago to sit through, sorry, Dr. Lee, boring discussions. But they did it because they wanted to attest to just what this was going to mean to this region of the state. And as Dr. Hudson's already said, it was all about finding the right partner, and I cannot imagine a better partner to have found. Dr. Giuliano, he mentioned your staff. They are absolutely first rate. From Pete to Wolfgang to Lynn to Dr. Ross Lee, and all that worked on this project, it was almost seamless. It was amazing how well we worked together. And I knew very quickly that we were dealing with the creme de la creme of medical education when we dealt with these folks. Now, Dr. Lee, I'm about to tell on you, and you're not going to like me, but I knew we were in good hands at that accreditation meeting. When Dr. Ross Lee was sitting in the chair testifying, and one of the commissioners decided to get a little bit snarky with her and started questioning her, and she clearly knew far more than he did. That was pretty obvious to all of us but him. And he kept on about this issue at another university, and finally Dr. Ross Lee said, "I'm sorry, I know exactly what happened because I worked there when it happened." And he said, "Well, I guess I just wasn't old enough to remember." Without missing a beat, and very professionally, she said, "Thank you for notifying us of that because we sure couldn't tell by looking at you." I leaned over to the person next to me and I said, "This thing's in the bag." I mean, there's no way he is doing anything after that. But they have been a great, great, great partner. We've also had great, great support from our Board of Trustees. From the very beginning, when we brought this project, they embraced it, they supported it, they pitched in any time they could, and they're all here today. Can I ask you to stand? Our Chairman, Howard Slinkard, his wife, Karen, our Vice Chairman, Ron Rhodes, and his wife, Brenda, our Secretary, Dr. Tim Langford, and his wife, Terry, and then our members, Neil Krausen from Jonesboro, and also Stacy Crawford with her husband, Rick. Can we give them a round of applause and thank them? Finally, I will say that Governor Hutchinson has made the word efficiency a hallmark of his administration and trying to encourage all state entities to be as efficient as possible, and I applaud that. And Governor, we are proud to have taken the lead on that with this type of project, a project that brings much-needed services to the state of Arkansas without creating problems for existing entities in the state and without having to rely on tax dollars or student tuition. That's something I think we can be very proud of, and I'm certainly pleased that it fits in with the governor's vision for the state of Arkansas. I had the opportunity to go to New York City and sit with Dr. Giuliano in his office for a couple of hours and talk about this project. And it was very clear to me, with him as it was with his staff, that this wasn't about a way to boost enrollment. This wasn't about a way to try to generate more revenue for their university. This was about doing good work. This was about impacting a region of the country that severely needs assistance. You could tell, and you'll hear from him in just a second, this was about doing something to provide a service to the people of this state and of this region. They're doing this for the right reasons. It's the absolute best partner we could have ever found. I'm convinced of that. And the fact that we now have them and their name adorns our oldest campus building is something that I think we should all be very proud of, and I can assure you that we will be celebrating many successes with them. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming the president of the New York Institute of Technology, Dr. Edward Giuliano.
Transformative, that's a good word. I'll settle for exciting day. Exciting day. Thank you, President Welch. I'd also like to say hello to our trustees who are watching today via live streaming video. We are a connected university, as you are. It is that proverbial milestone event for NYIT and Arkansas State University. And I did interrupt Chancellor Hudson in his speech because I saw that damn Yankees coming and I was not going to let him do that. I was going to do that. And Tim also said a few other things today that I can echo. Our universities are remarkably similar, even though we're doing this public-private partnership. Arkansas State has served the community. It's provided access to opportunities. Access to opportunity is our mission statement. That's why we're here. Access where we can do good. We only graduate professionals from our university. 60% of our graduates this last 2 weeks ago got master's or doctoral degrees. We provide professionals where they're needed. Years ago, it was our graduates who put men on the moon. We created, lunar landing craft. We worked in the defense industry. Today we're education and healthcare. I look forward the next time Tim says, I'd like all the people in the health community to stand up and be recognized. Well, we're going to have 45 people on our staff standing up. We had about 45 people just now standing up, if you noticed, and that's because I'd like to thank 6 of our vice presidents who are here today, 2 deans of 2 of our 7 schools who are here today, faculty, staff, students, current medical students who made the trip here for today. And in fact, this morning, we met 75 of the 120 students we're going to see in August when I come back. So I don't know if you appreciate that. In America, there's between 4,000 and 5,000 recognized colleges and universities. There's different ways of counting. But only 150 have medical schools. So A-State joins that distinguished list today. We're really proud to be part of this exercise and doing good. We did it for the right reasons. Yes, we didn't, do it for any motivation other than doing the right thing. It's what we do in education. Human capital is what we create, and right here we have the ability to work with A-State to create the human capital that's needed in the Delta region. So why wouldn't we do it? It's a blessing to have that opportunity. If you have skills and you can't use them, why? And it doesn't make you feel very well. When you have the skills and you use them, you feel great, especially if you're helping people, and in many cases, giving back. So we are privileged to be one of the universities in the United States with an osteopathic medical school, one of the few, and at NYT College of Osteopathic Medicine. We're privileged also to be part of a university whose last name is technology, very current word today. More opportunity, to offer leading cutting-edge cross-disciplinary curriculum, greater research capacity, greater visibility in the world stage and world at large, access to more channels and enhanced partnerships and support are just some of the mutual benefits we see with the NYIT connection with A State and the connection with the medical community in the Delta region. Part of our osteopathic medical oath of our graduates affirm to, quote, endeavor to work in accord with my colleagues in a spirit of progressive cooperation. That phrase always resonates with me. NYIT and Arkansas State may be 1,100 miles away geographically, but technologically we are connected at the hip. And again, we're connected through our commitment to creating the human capital and medical care that addresses regional health issues. And even though we're talking regional, many health issues are not regional, they're global. You can't solve a pandemic, in any particular region. So that's another illustration why today is a perfect example of progressive collaboration that we're fostering. And as President Welch said and Chancellor Hudson said, we're trying to do the right thing, but let me tell you, we're trying to be the greatest medical school in the country on a model that's technology infused and a new model to fulfill the shortage in for physicians in the United States, starting in this region particularly. We think we have a model. You're going to go, some of you, to see the facility. You'll see the bones that will help us do that. So we're excited, I used the word before, to kick off many more initiatives with, between NYIT and Arkansas State University. So we're opening the doors today, not just to the physical structures, to the opportunity for medical students striving to improve the healthcare of the Arkansas communities throughout the region. We believe in economic development as well. We are very proud to be help be an engine of growth as, again, healthcare systems, universities, and working with government is the magic potion. So it's my pleasure now, first, to thank you for the opportunity to work with you. I want to echo the feeling of community. I've only been here a few times, but I feel like I know the community, and the warmth and welcome is incredible. And we do think we have the best partner possible. And I want to welcome the leader of our site, the dean and our vice president, my colleague, Dr. Ross Lee, who is a very distinguished medical expert and a public policy leader. Barbara.
Also the one with the big mouth and the snappy wit. How's that? Well, good afternoon. I hope that you all are as excited about what's happening here on this campus as we are from NYIT. Together, we have established a new and collaborative model for the delivery of medical education. This educational model is designed to address a current and growing crisis in the physician workforce numbers in Arkansas and the Delta region. I'd like to thank the broad Arkansas community, and I mean the broad community. This really has been an experience in a very pleasant way. And that community includes elected officials, regional and federal authorities, the Jonesboro business sector, healthcare institutions throughout the state and the region, and health insurers, specifically Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arkansas, for all of their steadfast commitments to making NYITCOM at Arkansas State University in Jonesboro a reality. But there's some very important people who turn the reality into a plan. In fact, they turn the reality into a place, a state-of-the-art medical education facility, fondly known as Wilson Hall. They are David Handwork, Rusty Stroud, David Engelken, Eric Barnett, and an army of other ASU staff who made that building that you're going to see shortly what it is today. So I want to thank those people specifically. It is our shared goal to educate physicians in Arkansas for Arkansas. To quote my colleague, Dr. Shane Spites, and I quote, "This is personal for Arkansans." So let me share with you two things. Although they only gave me 3 minutes, it may take a little bit longer. Let me share with you two things. First, where we are today, and second, what the future holds. So where we are today. Osteopathic medicine is the fastest growing health profession in the country, with 33 schools at 48 locations, and more on the horizon. We know of at least one, right? While barely 8% of practicing physicians in the country are DOs, 1 out of every 4 physician trainees in the U.S. is osteopathic. NYITCOM was approved to start its first class of 115 students in August of this year, barely 2 months away. Almost exactly 3 years from the first meeting between NYIT and ASU, and that time frame boggles the mind. We're opening a medical school in 3 years. We have been fortunate to assemble a wonderful crew of faculty and staff to serve in this new medical school. And with all of the NYIT, COM, at A-State, people who are here, please stand. There we go. As of yesterday, we have 124 accepted students with a waiting list of over 150. For those of you who are interested, and I know you are because every time I run into somebody they ask me, but I'm going to tell you anyway. For those of you interested, the average GPA is over 3.6. The average MCAT is over 504. That is well above the national average for osteopathic medicine. 48% of the 124 students are Arkansas residents, 88% from Arkansas and the other Delta states. Underrepresented minorities represent about 14% of the class, and 45% of the class are female and 55% male, which means usually it's 50-50, so there's going to be some changes in the future, I think. 20% of this class have master's degrees, so we have a very qualified class, one that we can all be proud of. We have signed 21 clinical training or clerkship affiliation agreements with hospitals around the state. And nearly, or over in fact, 200 new residency training positions have been approved since we began talking to hospitals. So for those of you who've seen the news that there's a cap and we can't increase residency positions, I want you to know it's not true. And many of our hospital partners have stood tall and moved ahead to establish positions. But finally, and most importantly, and the reason we're here today, Arkansas State University has completely redesigned Wilson Hall to become a state-of-the-art medical school facility to welcome the first class of osteopathic medical students on August 8th of this year. So now let me tell you what the future holds. We frequently tell medical students and residents that the practice of medicine is an awesome responsibility, and it is. However, we in medical education and the clinical practice community also have the awesome responsibility to educate our students, not for the way medicine is practiced today, but for the way medicine will be practiced 7 to 10 years from today. You will be able to see, and this is an awesome responsibility, and we are serious about it. And you will be able to see the seriousness of our intent through the design of the space that will facilitate medical education and medical student preparedness for the future practice of osteopathic medicine in Wilson Hall today. As we look forward to the future, be assured that nearly 1,000 new physicians will be in the pipeline for practice in the next 10 years for the underserved communities of Arkansas and the Delta. Now, the NYIT College of Osteopathic Medicine aspires to be not just in the Jonesboro community, but to be a part of the community. Some really great leaders have agreed to assist our medical school in continuing that community engagement goal. And I would like to thank the following people for committing to working and continuing to work with us shoulder to shoulder to become a part of the community. And those people are Ritter Arnold, Chris Barber, Tim Hudson, Brad Parsons, and Mickey Seaman. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the continuing. As the saying goes, the future facilitated here by the efforts of NYIT and ASU. The future begins today. I want to thank all of you for making it a reality. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the next speaker who has been with us in mind and body since the beginning. He was there when I made that crazy statement at COCA, right? Okay. Somebody you all know, Congressman Rick Crawford. Thank you.
Note to self, do not get crossways with Dr. Ross Lee. Thank you all. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I want to thank my wife, and my kids are here as well. One of those rare opportunities when the whole family is with me today. And Stacy, glad you could be with us here today as well. I serve on the Ag Committee in the House of Representatives, and you go, well, what does that have to do with health care? I'll get there in a sec, just a minute. Tim told me I only had 45 minutes to talk, so I'll make this quick. One of the things I found is that as we struggle in the Ag Committee, we struggle with nutritional needs of people. How do we meet the nutritional needs of people? And one of the most disturbing things I found was that in Arkansas, and particularly the Delta region, we live in what is called a food desert. And Chris Madison-Gill is shaking his head. He deals with this every day, and he works with us to try and address those needs. So we live in a food desert. And so you hear a lot of ideas about how we can address the nutritional needs of folks who live in this food desert. And I find that highly ironic because we're also in one of the most productive agricultural regions in the world. But we live in a food desert. And so you hear this thing about, well, we could grow your own. Well, that sounds great. We can grow our own. Well, I found out not too long ago, and Chris was there, as was Dr. Penry, when we had an event down in Lake Village. It was called the Delta Health Improvement Project, and we identified federal agencies who were working in the Delta to improve healthcare quality. And I could list no less than 5 who were all doing the same thing and had not achieved a single positive result in 20 years of spending taxpayer dollars to improve the quality of healthcare. So I think it's safe to say we live in a healthcare desert as well. And so how do we address that? Well, we can grow our own. And that's what we're doing here today, is taking those first steps. As Tim Hudson said, we're taking those first steps to grow our own and meet the needs of folks here. And as Dr. Welch mentioned, this could be a first-time occurrence for many people who've never set foot in a family health care clinic. and they'll be able to do it now. Thanks to the work that's been done here. It's a great day. It's a transformative day. It's an exciting day. God bless y'all for all this. Thank you. And I have the distinct honor of introducing a leader in the state and a leader in the country. He's the right man at the right time. He's led the way in education with his coding and STEM initiative throughout the state of Arkansas. That's gotten national headlines, by the way. In fact, I texted him a story that I pulled off the New York Times talking about how Arkansas was leading the way in computer science. And we are pleased to have our great governor of the state of Arkansas. If you would, please welcome Asa Hutchinson.
Thank you. Members of the Board of Trustees, thank you for your leadership. Dr. Hudson, it's good to be on your campus again. It is amazing to be here in this community that supports to such a high level Arkansas State University, new initiatives, and community efforts. This is one of the crown jewels of Arkansas, the strength of the economy in Northeast Arkansas, the leadership that you have here in Jonesboro, the educational strength that you have through Arkansas State University, and a place of innovation in partnership with New York Institute of Technology. It is impressive, the innovation that happens on this campus. And I want to join in welcoming our friends, Dr. Giuliano and other colleagues from New York. I want you to know the last time I was in New York City, I was there to ring the bell at the New York Stock Exchange. And I was there, rang the bell, and the stock market went up. They've been continually trying to get me to go back. But my son-in-law is from New Jersey, so I welcome you. I think it's an amazing partnership, and even though it's 1,100 miles, as you said, incredible shrinking distance in today's world of mobile technology. We appreciate your investment and your partnership here. I am delighted to see the leadership of President Welch through the whole system and the support that he gives this institution as well. Thank you, Dr. Welch. I look at higher education in Arkansas, and I believe fundamentally that higher education should be engaged in meeting the needs of Arkansas in terms of professional strength, in terms of health care, meeting the needs in terms of academic, educational support. Higher education should be in the business of meeting the needs of the state of Arkansas. And let me tell you, Arkansas State University is doing that. And this partnership with the College of Medicine that is starting here is meeting the needs of this state. As Congressman Crawford wisely pointed out, we have a great need in Arkansas in improved access to health care. You are meeting that need, and whenever an institution of higher education meets a need, then I, as governor, am here to applaud you. And that's what you're doing. And you're doing it in an innovative way that doesn't strain the budget, that creates its revenue stream, that has a private partnership. That's what it's about. I'm constantly impressed with what's happening here on this campus. And so you're meeting the need, and I'd like to think, and our legislative friends are here, that we've met the need in health care as well by passing a Medicaid expansion in Arkansas called Arkansas Works that continued the coverage for 250,000 Arkansans that otherwise would not have health care. And I know the healthcare community supported that effort. We got through, we did it. It's stabilized, it provides continuity. So you combine that increased access at the individual level with increased capability of physicians to go into rural areas of this state and provide access and support it. That's the right team effort. We've done the right thing for the people of Arkansas through those two initiatives. I'll just add a little note there. I was meeting with Cindy Gillespie, our head of Human Services in Arkansas that oversees our Medicaid program, and she said that it was interesting on the statistics that while we have the Medicaid expansion numbers and 250,000 on that Medicaid expansion and the reforms that's included with Arkansas Works, what we have seen, though, is that the disability claims have gone down. And that means that the SSI claims have gone down because that was the only means that some people could get access to health care, was to declare themselves having a disability. And when they realized they had access to health care otherwise, they did not have to declare that disability. That is a good subterranean point that I had not seen before, and I think it is worth noting. And so I want to congratulate Arkansas State University on something else, though. If you pick up the headlines of the papers today and you see that Arkansas State University has held tuition rates down to the smallest increase in Arkansas higher education across this state. So I applaud Arkansas State. Trustees, may your numbers increase. You all did a good job on that. But that's good management. That is efficiency. And that leads me to, that's doing the right thing for our students. But I also want to say that we have an initiative through our higher education to improve our funding formula. We have an outdated funding formula in higher education in this state. And we need to redo that formula, and anytime you do that, that's a challenge. But we need to redo that formula so that we do reward performance in higher education, so that we do reward efficiency in higher education, so that we do reward those institutions that not only embrace new students, but actually produce new graduates. That's what we need in higher education. And I want to applaud again Arkansas State University President Welch. Thank you for being supportive of that initiative in reforming the funding formula in this state. And so I know we've got a ribbon cutting ahead, but I wanted to be here to congratulate in this exciting moment for all of Arkansas, for the Delta, for Arkansas State University. Thank you, community, for your support for this exciting day of innovation.
Thank you very much, Governor, and to all of our speakers today. We appreciate the kind words for the work of Arkansas State and NYIT. You're going to see at your table, you should find a small piece from our original marble walls from Wilson Hall. This is a memento that we wanted you to have for today's special occasion. As it says on the little card, today we present you with a piece of Wilson Hall and the reminder that over the next decade, from these hallowed walls, more than 1,000 physicians will flow into the Delta for their training. It's an amazing mission, and we again value the partnerships that we have with each of you. All right, at this time, it is time for the ribbon cutting, and we're going to first dismiss those who are participating in a few ribbon cutting photos. So if you are participating in those photos and you've been notified in advance, if you'll go out these doors and to the right, and actually everybody will then follow these instructions. You're going to go out the doors, down to the right, all the way to the end, go down one level, just one level, and out the south door, and it will walk you into the front steps of Wilson Hall. So if we can allow these individuals to leave first, and we'll get everyone to kind of go walk briskly. Hopefully Chuck Welch won't stop and talk to everybody on the way. He'll keep moving. And then as soon as they've passed, everyone else will be dismissed. Thank you very much for being here today.
It's a lonely road for a tired man and you can see it in your faces. And you'll be home in spring. I can wait till then. I heard you're on a big train.
I feel like new sunglasses, like a brand new pair of jeans. I feel like taking chances. I feel a lot like 17. I feel like windows roll down new city streets and cabs. I feel like anything can happen in life, and you take me right back when we were kids. Never thought I'd feel like this. Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and I don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new. I feel like a young John Cusack, like making big mistakes. I feel like for the first time in a long time, I am not afraid. I feel like a kid. Never thought it'd feel like this. Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and I don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new. Time will always try to make us. Time will always try to make us. You remind me what I used to know. Like when I close my